Recording. And there's a lot of people in the waiting room. So let me go over here. I think some other people might be having the same issue. So I'm going to admit all. Okay, everyone's coming in. There we go. All right. And I'm going to go to Tony and give you sharing screen rights. Okay. Everyone can unmute. And let me give Tony back the okay, Tony, you're co-host now.
Cool, thank you.
But I'm recording here, so. And everyone should be able to unmute if you would like. Okay. All right. And Tony, you're on mute at the moment.
Okay, cool. Okay, so in response to the chat question, this is for PSAT and SAT. But hello, everyone. My name is Tony Sanfilippo. I'm a senior at Klein Cain High School, and I am a second-year SAT ambassador. So I'm sure, as you guys know, the purpose of why you're here is to kind of study up on SAT math. This is Monday, so we're doing SAT math today. Sorry for a little bit glistening. I just came back from a workout. So, but yeah, so today is SAT math. So we'll be going through a whole bunch of math questions. I'll give you guys some time to answer the questions. You can use your Scratch sheet. You can use, OneNote. You can use, Snip and Sketch on your computer if you need to, whatever you need. And yeah, so we'll just be going through a couple questions pretty soon. And hope you guys are ready. Just grab a pen, paper, whatever you need, and let's get started.
Just a quick reminder, everybody should sign in at the link I put in the chat there.
Okay, everybody can hear me, I hope, I think, cool. If not, then I'm talking to myself, and that would not be cool. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start off with a couple questions. And by the way, you guys are in the SAT Prep Intermediate group, so this isn't beginner, this is an advanced. You guys are in intermediate. There are 2 Zooms for intermediate, but you're stuck with me. So we'll go ahead and get started here. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 4 minutes to do these 4 problems, starting now. Oh, and by the way, this is math with no calculator.
Hey guys, Miss Paulette is here if anyone needs any assistance.
Sorry about that. Oh, in the waiting room. Okay, sorry. Okay, so that is our 4 minutes. So let me go ahead and start here real quick. Give me one moment to get settled. Okay. So this up. Okay, can everybody see this? Just want to make sure. Alrighty, so starting on number 8, this was a fairly simple one, for me at least. I was thinking about it in a completely different way when I read the like College Board explanation of it. I was like, oh, that's so smart. So I now understand it a lot better. So, all right, so we've got the general idea of A over B equals 2, right? So we can reason from this that no matter what A and B are, there's a ratio of 1 to 2 on B to A, right? So if we flip that upside down, we get B over A equals 1/2. Because this 2 right here, all that is pretty much just saying anything over a number. So whether it be 4 over 2, whether it be 8 over 4, any of those numbers will be equal to 2, right? So we can flip that over and say that B over A is equal to 1/2. This A over B is equal to 2 over 1. Flip it around, and we get B over A equals 1/2. So let's go ahead and plug that into this equation right here. So B equals 1 and A equals 2. So we get 4 times 1 over 2. And it's asking what is the value of 4B over A. 4 times 1 over 2, that goes 4 over 2. And 4 over 2, as we know, is 2. So the correct answer here is C. Anyone need an explanation? I'm sorry, I can't see the chat. So if you could tell me if anyone needs an explanation for it.
You should be able to see it. So there are a couple of questions, Tony.
Yes.
Sonia, she says, is this PSAT or SAT? And she also stated that these questions seem unusual because she has not learned them yet. Do you want to address that?
Excuse me, let me put in some headphones just so I can hear you a bit better. I'm having some connection issues and it's just not too loud for me. So, sorry, if I heard you correctly, someone said that they have not learned this idea yet?
Right, and she's also asking, is this for PSAT or SAT?
This is on the PSAT or SAT? It'll be on both. So the PSAT and SAT cover the exact same topics. I believe it only goes up to algebra. I want to say it's 1, but I don't know if it's 2. It'll cover basic topic. No, I think it's 2 because it goes up to geometry. So you'll cover topics such as trigonometry, like sine and cosine. You'll cover topics such as, you know, A and B as substitutes for like X or Y or something like that. So if you're not in any, you know, algebra 1 class, I'm not sure that the SAT is, I suppose, a good idea. I don't know. But all this is rearranging, you know, rearranging the equation and kind of seeing what you can do to make things easier for yourself. Like all I did was flip it upside down to kind of make a ratio. You know, 2 over 1. If you flip that upside down, it's 1 over 2. So, but I apologize if any of this is too advanced for some people. I'm not sure what to do about that. I apologize. Okay, moving on to number 9. We've got the equation 3x plus 4y equals -23 and 2y minus x equals -19. It says, what is the solution x comma y to the system of equations above? So what we're looking for here is we're looking to define x and y. And the way that we do that is we want to first define one of these variables. So let me go ahead and zoom in here, try and move over there. There we go, cool. Okay, so what we want to do here is we've got this equation right here, and here's a lone x that's pretty easy to mess around with and define. So what we want to do here is we've got 2y minus x equals negative 19. Hope everybody can see that. If they can't, I apologize. But what we can do here is we can keep this 2y. We can get rid of these nasty negative signs by adding x to this side. And remember, what you do to one side, you've got to do to both sides. So you get 2y equals negative 19 plus x. Oh, sorry, that's not a plus sign, that's an xx. Plus x. Or we can get the exact same thing. The exact same thing, just written in a different manner. X minus 19. So what we can do at this point is we've realized that we've got x minus 19 equals 2y. What we want to do now is, because we can define this x super easy, we want to add the 19 to the other side. So we've got x minus 19. Let's go ahead and add that 19 to both sides. So now what we've got is 2y plus 19 equals x. So now we've defined the x. What we do now that we've defined the x right here is we want to go ahead and plug what we've got over here, which we've said that this is x, right? So we can decide, or we can deduce, I suppose, that the x in this equation, in this top equation right here, is the x that we found down here. Sorry, it's getting pretty messy. I'm going to go ahead and delete everything. Okay, so we found out that 2y plus 19 equals x. So, excuse me, there we go. Getting rid of all this, blah, blah, blah. Almost, there we go. Okay, so we can deduce that this x goes right there. So 3 times 2y plus 19, oops, sorry, and then remember that this 2y plus 19, we've decided that that equals x, right? So all we did is plug in 2y plus 19 into this x right here. So what we can do from this point is plug it into the top equation. So 3 times 2y plus 19 plus 4y equals negative 23. What we're working towards here is, now that we have no x's, we only have one variable, which is that y. So what we can do from this point is just distribute and solve. Uh-oh, a little bit close to the bottom here. I'm going to go upwards right here. So 3 times 2y plus 19, 3 times 2y is going to equal 6y. 3 times 19 is, I believe, 57, plus 4y equals negative 23. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, we see that we've got two common factors here. We've got two y's, right? So we add those together to get 10y. 10y plus 57, so I'll make it a bit easier to understand. That might be harder, honestly. But we've got 10y plus 57 equals negative 23. What we do at this point is we want to get this y alone, this one right here. We want to get that alone so we can solve for y. So 10y plus 57 equals negative 23. What we can do from this point, I just wrote the same thing. What we can do from here is we can subtract this 57. So then we have 10y equals negative, I believe this comes out to be 80. So 10y equals negative 80. At this point, we have our answer, and we can divide by 10 on both sides. Divide by 10, and you get y equals negative 8. So we look at, which is these values right here, of 8. So negative 2, that's not a negative 8. That's not a negative 8. Negative 6, that's the correct answer here would be. Any questions on that one? Cool. Not hearing anything.
Yeah, everyone can unmute as you need to. I think Abdullah was asking, were you asking if Tony could repeat the first problem? Is that what you were asking, Abdullah?
Yes.
Okay, all good. All right, so just real quick, A over B equals 2, right? So what we've got here is we can take this 2 and make it 2 over 1, because anything over 1 is just the top number, right? So what we can do at this point is we can flip this to be B over A equals 1/2. Makes sense, right? If A is 2 and B is 1, putting B over A would just be 1/2. So let's go ahead and say that because B over A is equal to 1 over 2, B is 1 and A is 2. We'll go ahead and plug that into the equation on the right. So this one right here. So B equals 1 and A equals 2, right? So which is 1 over A, which is 2. So 4 times 1, sorry, that's meant to be a multiplication. So 4 times 1 over 2. That equals 4 over 2, or just 2. So the correct answer here is C.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, so this one I didn't do within the time limit, so we'll see. We'll see. Alrighty, so we've got the question asking, in the equations above, B and C represent the price per pound in dollars of beef and chicken, respectively, X weeks after July 1st during last summer. It's a run-on sentence. What was the price per pound of beef when it was equal to the price per pound of chicken? So remember, it said that B and C are the price per pound of beef and chicken, right? So what it's asking us to find here is, what is B equal to C? So we've got these two equations, right? All we got to do now is just set them equal to each other. So B equals C. That is 2.35 plus 0.25x equals C, which is 1.75 plus, there we go, plus 0.4x. So what we can do here is, because we're trying to find the x, right, what we've got to do is we've got to solve for x. So what we can do to get x alone is we can subtract 0.25x from both sides, leaving us with 2.35 equals 1.75 plus 15x, sorry, 0.15x. So at this point, all we got to do to solve for x is subtract the, the numbers, and that'll be 2.35 minus 1.75, which I kind of flubbed on the math here. I believe that's 0.6. So it's 0.6 equals 0.15x. And as we know, if we think of these like without the decimals, we can think that 60 divided by 15, that's 4, right? Yeah. So so the correct answer here is x equals 4. Whoa, not 4 equals 4. X equals 4. There we go. So, but we're not done here, right? It's asking, what was the price per pound of beef when it was equal to the price per pound of chicken? All we found here was the x. See how 4 isn't an answer in any of these? What we've got is we've got to plug the x value, which we just figured out was 4, into our equations. So excuse me while I tidy up a little bit. X equals 4. I wish they had a button to erase everything. I'm sure they do. I'm just kind of silly right now. Oh, that's not fun.
By the way, students, for the next problems, we do want you to submit your answer in the chat before Tony explains it. Okay?
Yes, please. So, okay. So we've decided that x equals 4, right? And it's asking for what was the price per pound of beef. So what we've got to do is plug in our x equals 4 into the b equation. So if b equals 2.35 plus 0.25x. We got to plug in our x equals 4 right there. So what we get there is b equals 2.35 plus 0.25 times 4. And 0.25 times 4, so 0.25 is the same as saying 1/4. So 1/4 times 4 will be 1. So 2.35 plus 1, that equals 3.35. And that's one of our answers. So D is the correct answer here. Anyone need an explanation for that one? Cool, cool. Excuse me, let me tidy up one more time. Alrighty. So just a quick little word of advice, I suppose. These equations, these will get better with time. If you're not feeling so hot about them right now, it's all good. These take a bit of time to get used to get quick. So if you're not doing too hot right now, you're completely fine. Just take a little bit of practice, do a couple questions of SAT prep a day, go look at an SAT practice test or whatever you need to, and it'll be a good time, hopefully. Okay, so number 12 right here. A line in the xy plane passes through the origin and has a slope of 1/7. Which of the following points lies on the line? So we've already got our slope, which is 1/7, right? What we're looking for here, the key words to look for are passes through the origin and slope of 1/7. So the idea that it passes through the origin, it has to go through the point 0, 0. So we can use that as a point of reference. Keep in mind that the formula to find a slope is rise over run. So it'll be the y of the second coordinate minus the y of the first coordinate over the x of the second coordinate minus the x of the first coordinate. And that will equal 1/7 in this situation. There we go. So what we're looking for here is these will be our second points. These will be our y2 and x2s. So what we want to do is we can cross one off immediately. So passes through the origin, which is, again, 0, 0. How can something with a slope that has, it's going right, it's angled, it's not going straight up. So how can it go through 0, 7 if it started at 0, 0? It can't, right? So we can cross off A as an answer choice here already. That's just a little tip, something to look for. We've got one that is answer choice B, which is 1/7. So what to look for here is you can think about the idea that, slope, again, is rise over run. So for every, every x coordinate that it goes over, in this case, it's 7. So for every 7, it goes up. Or so for every 7, it goes to the right on the x axes. If for every 7, it goes up, for every 7 it goes to the right, it goes up 1, right? So what we're looking for here is the idea that for every 1, it goes up 7. That can't be true because we know that our slope is 1/7, not 7. So if x were to be 1, y would be 7, the slope would be 7 instead of 1/7. Same thing for C. If we've got 7 to the right, it'll be 7 up, but that doesn't make any sense because it says that for every 7 x's, it'll only go up 1 y, right? So we can knock off both of those answers, and I'll go through them just to make sure. But the last choice that we're looking at here is D. So this is where we go to the math portion. The rest of it was kind of reasoning and just thinking about, slope and the origin and stuff like that. But here we can go ahead and plug in these points. So because this is our x2, y2, we can go ahead and plug in 2, which is y2, 2 minus 0 over 14 minus 0. So this is our y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That'll give us our slope. So what I did here was I used these coordinates as the y2s and the x2s and the origin as the y1 and y2, or sorry, y1 and x1s. What we get here is we get 2 over 14. So we can simplify this by dividing both the top and bottom by 2, and we get 1 over 7. So this is our slope, and this makes sense. So D is the correct answer here. I'll go ahead and do a wrong one just to see how it doesn't work out. So if we go ahead and do the same exact thing we just did, but with different coordinates, I'm going to go ahead and use C here, 7, 7. I'm going to go ahead and use 7 minus 0 over 7 minus 0. That equals 1. 7 over 7 equals 1. So it explicitly said that our slope was 1/7, and 1/7 is for sure not 1. So that one doesn't work there. Anybody have questions on that one?
I think we're good to go.
What if we have 2 points?
2 points, so it's the exact same thing, right? The only reason why I used 0, 0 for the x1 and y1 is because it said it passed through the origin. You can do the exact same thing with different points. So let's say if I wanted to do like, let's say I wanted to do these two, right? If I wanted to do these two, I'll say that this is my 2, this is my 1. So I'll do 7 minus 7 over 7 minus 0. So it'll come out to be 0. The slope would be 0, just because 7 minus 7, that equals 0, and 7 minus 0, that equals 7. So 0 over 7 equals 0. So you can do the exact same thing, just with different points. Hope I explained it okay. Alrighty, so now we're going to move on. Whoa, there we go. Okay, now I thought I closed my tabs. Now we're going to move on to some new questions. Do that one. Hopefully it fits on my screen. Will it fit on my screen? No. I'll just go ahead and move down. All right, I'll go ahead and give you guys 4 minutes to do these 3. Starting 3, 2, 1, now.
And please post your answers in the chat.
Alrighty, there's our time. Okay, so gonna be real honest, I didn't get 14, so I'm gonna have to go check the practice test answers. But let's go ahead and get started with 13 and 15. Okay. Oh, cool, I got it. Okay. So 13. Alrighty, so we've got the question asking if x is greater than 3, which of the following is equivalent to 1 over 1 over x plus 2 plus 1 over x plus 3. So what we can do here, because we have the information that x is greater than 3 and not greater than or equal to 3, we can choose any value above 3 to kind of substitute in and mess around with. So I chose 4. I chose 4 because it's the easier number. I could have chosen like 1020 or whatever, but wanted to keep it simple, wanted to keep the numbers real low and just like easy to manipulate. So I started plugging and playing. So what I did was I put 4 into this equation. So 1 over 4 plus 2 plus 1 over 4 plus 3. So that turns out to be 1 over 6 plus 1 over 7. And this comes out to be, sorry, excuse me. I'm thinking I might have done this wrong. But yeah, so let's go ahead and work on trying to figure out what these factor into. So 1 over 6 plus 1 over 7. What we can do is we can do 1 over 6 equals 1 over 7, and all we got to do is figure out what these can come equal to. So we want to make 1 over 6 have the same common denominator as 1 over 7. We have to manipulate both of these fractions in order to do this. So what we need to do is we have to find a common multiple. So 6 times something equals a number that 7 can also multiply and equal to. So I believe the answer here was 42, I think. So 1 over 42, sorry, not 1 over 42. It'll be, right, 6 times 8. No, sorry, I'm going to use a calculator real quick. I'm really lacking. Yeah, I knew it. It was 6 times 7. Okay, so 6 over 42. The way I did that was I brought 1 over 6, and then I multiplied it by 1 over 7 to get, sorry, I multiplied it by 7 over 7 because you can't mess around with this fraction. You have to keep it as the way it is. It has to always equal 1/6 no matter what you do to it. So you can only multiply it by 1. 7 over 7 is 1, right? So I manipulated it to get 6 over 42. So what I can do to get a common denominator for this 1/7 is I can do the exact same thing. But this time I'm going to go ahead and multiply it by 6. By 6 over 6. Is that really what I do? I think so. No, it's 6 over... Oh, 6 over 6. I apologize, you guys. I'm lacking on brain cells, I suppose. Excuse me while I figure this out. I mean, if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe it's the exact same thing. So, you know, we can get 7 times 6 equals 42, so that'll be on the bottom. And then this will come out to be 6 over 42. But I don't believe that's correct. I apologize. I might have to skip this one and just come back to it. I apologize. This was completely my fault. I should have probably actually tried to figure this one out. I got it wrong, so I was trying to figure it out on the spot. I apologize, you guys. I'll come back to this one. That's on me. But the one I do have for sure is 15. So there's some people in the chat. I just know it who got this, and they're looking at me and thinking, "You're an ambassador for SAT?" Okay, Tony. But okay. So for 15 right here, got AX plus 2 times BX plus 7 equals 15x squared plus CX plus 14. So what we've got here is a case of factoring. So we know that because these two are equal to each other, we should be able to factor this out and distribute to get 15x squared plus CX plus 14. So what we can do here is we can look at our numbers. We see 15x squared plus CX plus 14. So we know that 2 times 7 equals 14. That's perfectly fine. The way that factoring goes is FOIL, which is first inside, first inside, outside, last. So what we're going to do, at least how I do it, is I do this. I go this one times that, then I do this one times that, and then I do this one times that to this one times that. A lot of lines there. It's very confusing. Sorry about that. But again, we know that A times B has to equal 15. Because of the factoring that we do, we have to see that A times B has to eventually equal 15 when it gets over here. And again, AX times BX is going to equal ABX squared. So we can tell that another crucial point of information here is that A plus B equals 8, right? So I thought in my head, what factors multiply to 15 and also when they're added together equal 8? Well, I thought 5 and 3. 5 plus 3 equals 8. So A plus B equals 8. A must be 5 and B must be 3. That's what I thought at least. So what I did with this information in my head is I took the A and the B and I put them to numerical values. So again, A equals 5. So this turns into 5x plus 2 times B equals 3. So 3x plus 7, right? Again, 5 times 3 equals 15. 5x times 3x would equal 15x squared. So that makes sense so far. But it's asking what are the two possible values for C, which is our middle thing right there. So the way that factoring works is you do this times that. So I'm going to go ahead and break this down. 5x times 3x, 15x squared. Then I'm going to go ahead and do 5x times 7, which will equal 35x. Then we can do 3x times 5x, which that'll equal, or sorry, not 3x times, I apologize. It'll be, 7 times 5x. Wait, whoa. No, I'm so sorry, y'all. It's 2 times 3x and then 2 times 7. That's it. I am so sorry. Okay. So again, we've already multiplied our 5x by everything on the right side. We've got 5x times 3x equals 15x squared. 5x times 7 equals 35x. And then we've got to multiply the 2. So 2 times 3x, that equals 6x. That'll be plus 6x. Excuse me a sec. 6x. So right after this, we got to multiply the 2 by the 7. That'll equal 14, plus 14. So what we've got here is we've got a whole bunch of x's and stuff that we need to combine. So 15x squared, there are no other x squared, so that stays the same, plus 35x plus 6x, what's that going to equal? 35 plus 6 is 41, so 41x. And then plus 14, we don't have any other numbers without x's, so plus 14. So we've got one of our values, and we can really answer the question right here. So the answer choices are 3 and 5, 6 and 35, 10 and 21, and 31 and 41. We've already got our 41 right there. So we can answer the question. The correct answer is D. Now, if we wanted to find the other answer, what we would have to do is we would have to flip what we define our A and B as, which I know is kind of confusing. Let me draw it out for you. So we just decided that one of them is 41, so we could have answered the question there. You can leave it there and save yourself some time if you don't want to double check, which I encourage. SAT is a lot about speed as much as it is about skill. So we've defined A as 5 and B as 3. But what happens if we were to switch that? We would get the same number, right? That's actually incorrect. We would get different numbers. So what we got to do now is we'll make A 3 and we'll make B 5. So 3x plus 2 times 5x plus 7. So here's what happens. We multiply 3x by 5x, and that'll give us the same thing as last time, 15x squared. So that's perfectly fine. We'll multiply the 3x by the 7, and guess what we get this time? 21x. That's different than last time. Now what we got to do is we got to multiply the 2 by the 5x. That'll give us another different number, plus 10x. And then finally, we have to multiply 2 times 7. That'll give us 14, the same number as last time. So what do we get when we combine these two x's right here? We'll go ahead and get 15x plus 21 plus 10 is 31. So it'll be 31x plus 14. So again, this is just a double check. You can look at the answers and you could have told that 41 really told you all you needed to know. So we can decide, double checking, that 31 and 41 is the correct answer here. Any questions on that one?
For you said A plus B equals 8. You said you gave our value A equals 5 and B equals 3, right?
Yes.
So how did you do that? Was it just random?
So the way that I did that was I looked at what I had. So I took the fact that ax plus 2 and bx plus 7 had to come out to be 15x squared plus cx plus 14. All we need to know here is the fact that when you factor, or when you distribute, ax times bx has to equal the first one. Because you've got two x's, that'll equal x squared, and the only x squared you have on the right side is 15x squared. So the reason why I chose 5 and 3 are because you've got a plus b equals 8 here, and then you've got a times b equals 15. So I kind of figured in my head, 5 plus 3 is 8, and 5 times 3 is 15. That's how I figured that out. I don't really have like a, I don't know, an academic explanation for it. But yeah. Hope that answered your question. Mm-hmm. Okay. To sate my own curiosity, I'm going to go ahead and go to the answer key for 13. I'm very, I don't know, frustrated? I suppose I couldn't get that. Alrighty, so choice B is correct. Yes.
Someone did ask what the actual answer is.
Oh, for that past one?
Yeah, I guess they missed it.
Sorry, the correct answer is D here, 31 and 41.
And also, just a reminder, make sure you did sign in and that you sign out as well. I put both links in the chat. So make sure you sign out before you leave.
Yes. And we only got 10 minutes, guys. Good job on trucking. You guys are doing well. Okay, so if we look at the answer key, we look at question 13, choice B is correct. To rewrite that correctly, multiply by x over 2, x plus 2 times x plus 3 over x plus 2 x plus 3. This results in the expression x plus 2 times x plus 3 over. Oh, I see what they did. I see what they did. Okay, cool. Alrighty. So what we can do now that I actually understand it, we can go back here and we can look and see. Whoa, a bit too far there, Bucko. There we go. Okay. So we can go ahead and see that what we want to do is we want to get rid of these pesky little denominators, because if we have denominators, we have to multiply it all the way back up there. So what we want to do to get rid of those denominators is we want to multiply this whole thing by 1, but it's not the one you think of. It's not like this one, you know. It'll be the exact same thing that we did in an earlier problem where we have to keep, we have to multiply it, but we have to keep it the same. So x plus 2 times x plus 3 over x plus 2 times x plus 3 is 1, right? So we've got the exact same thing going on the top as we do on the bottom. So that means that that over that equals 1. So what we can do here to get rid of these little denominators, we can multiply by, we can multiply by this entire thing right here. So it'll be 1 over x plus 2 plus 1 over x plus 3 times x plus 2 times x plus 3 over x plus 2 x plus 3. So what we can do here, now that we have this information, is we'll go ahead and multiply. So because it's 1 times this entire top portion, it's going to stay the same. So this entire top portion is going to come out to be, I'll move a little bit. Give me 1 sec. There we go. So we'll multiply the 1 by the top. So the top is just going to come out to be what's on the right, x plus 2 times x plus 3. But the bottom, the fact that we have, 1 over x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 2 times x plus 3, that makes it a bit more difficult. So we have to distribute here. 1 over x plus 2 plus 1 over x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 2 times x plus 3. What we do here is you can go ahead and put these both on top of each one. So this entire thing we're going to go ahead and put on top of each one of those. So that one's going to go there, and that one's going to go there. This might be where I lose a couple people, but this is going to come out to be, when you multiply it out, it's going to come out to be x plus 2 x plus 2 times x plus 3 over x plus 2. And then this is going to be, I'm running out of space here. There we go. Plus x plus 2, x plus 3 over x plus 3. So what we can do with these two, because we see that we've got an x plus 2 in the denominator here and an x plus 2 in the numerator here, we can go ahead and cancel these out. So that's going to leave us with just x plus 3. Same thing on the other side, but with different numbers. X plus 2 is going to stay here, but because we have x plus 3 and x plus 3 on the top and the bottom, we can go ahead and cancel these out too. So that's going to be x plus 3 plus x plus 2, I think. Right? Yeah. Cool. Okay. So again, we have this top portion in the way top, the one where we multiplied 1 by this entire mess, So what we can do here is, now that we know that this is the bottom of the entire thing, we can go ahead and put this here. So x plus 3 plus x plus 2, go ahead and put those in parentheses so you can differentiate them. Those will be 2x plus 5. 2x plus 5 right here. And the top, if you want to make it more concise, which they do on College Board, you can go ahead and multiply those together. So x times x, again, this is distribution and factoring, x squared plus, let me think here, 5x plus 6. So that should be what it comes out to, and that will be b. That's a lot smarter way of thinking about it than I did, but Hope that helped. It was pretty confusing. Sorry about that. But yeah. Any questions on that one? Okay, I think we might have time for one more. And then you guys are good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hop to a different page just because I didn't get 14 and I don't want to waste you guys' time. So I'll just go ahead and explain this next one. Hopefully, if it's easy, we'll see. We'll find out, I suppose. All right. Oh, and that was it. Okay. I guess that means I'm forced to do 14. Uh-oh. All right. Well, got to go to the answer. Numerator and denominator, same base. Okay. Well, this is a pretty long-winded explanation of it, but I think that it's time to call it. You guys did a good job today. I'm very proud of all of you. Good job on kind of getting yourself after school. I know it's pretty difficult to learn when you're outside of school, and good on you for going to school after school, you know, coming here and actually learning where you don't really need to be. Good on you, trying to better yourselves. I'm very, very happy for all of you. And thank you guys for coming. Make sure you sign out whenever you leave or before you leave. And thank you for coming.
Great job, Tony. Thank you. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.